Bringing society to a better understanding of itself can be seen as the goal of most art, film included. Whether it be second to providing a piece of entertainment or the main purpose, it makes the audience question their society and highlights the pressing matters within it. This is present in the science fiction genre as filmmakers create worlds that are similar to ours, yet differ by their novum to form a social allegory. Introduced by film critic Darko Suvin, the novum is an innovation that is scientifically plausible. It greatly influences the diegetic universe, separating it from our own. Many subgenres of science fiction have emerged, each with their own conventions and style, one of which is cyberpunk. It features highly advanced and futuristic technology in a dystopian society. Quote, on one side you have powerful megacorporations and private security forces, while on the other you have the dark, gritty underworld of illegal trade, gangs, drugs, and vice, unquote. The dichotomy of high-tech and low-life is present as, quote, the future is here, it's just not evenly distributed, unquote. Cyberpunk films also form social allegories, often which revolve around the ideas of technophobia and, quote, highlighting the dangers of a high-tech society, unquote. The implementation of cyberpunk conventions to explore the dangers of technology can be seen in two examples: Blade Runner, directed by Ridley Scott from 1982, and Upgrade, directed by Leigh Whannell from 2018. Blade Runner is set in a dystopian version of Los Angeles during a conflict between humans and androids known as replicants. There is a large disparity between the all-powerful Tyrell Corporation and the poorer, bustling streets with diverse populations. This is reflective of the context during the film's production, that being 1980s America. There was a large economic recession which caused unemployment rates that were the highest in 6 years. According to Irons, such rates led to lowered income and perhaps reduced educational opportunities, particularly for those in the working class. Japan also experienced large technological development, allowing them to surpass America in many ways. Upgrade displays a futuristic dystopia in which smart technology in the form of highly complex artificial intelligence and cybernetic augments are widely available to the public. It is based on the technological context of the 2010s regarding the increase in artificial intelligence and technophobia. According to Friend, scientists and engineers fear the construction of an artificial general intelligence that is smarter and more powerful than us. Many recognize the potential of such technology but also acknowledge the dangers, as an AGI could, quote, spell the end of the human race, unquote. Many of the large corporations have benefited from such development and experienced large economic growth, while many in the working class have been left behind. Both films are appropriate for such a discussion as they implement several conventions of the cyberpunk genre, including powerful technological giants juxtaposed with extreme violence, drugs, and poverty, and an outsider as a protagonist who displays qualities of an anti-hero to explore the dangers of technology. The stylistic portrayal of the dystopian society creates the dichotomy of high-tech and low-life. Quote, the future is here, it's just not evenly distributed, unquote, indicates that even with the technological developments, an overall improvement of the quality of life for everyone is not guaranteed. It creates a juxtaposition between the gigantic corporations and the common civilians who suffer from poverty. This creates a dystopia which is represented through the setting. According to McGrail, the setting is a physical location in which the scenes take place. It is influenced through lighting and color and creates an overall atmosphere for the film. It communicates information in a visual manner, deepening the audience's understanding of the diegetic universe and its problems. Scott represents his dystopian version of Los Angeles through the contrast of highly affluent and developed settings against those that are hardened, underdeveloped, and crowded. This is evident in settings such as Tyrell's home. Heavy amounts of practical lighting are employed to create a brightly lit setting, along with bright colors, indicating a developed and affluent atmosphere, which shows society's improvement because of the immense technological upgrades. On the other hand, areas such as the dense and decrepit marketplaces employ low-key lighting, creating a run-down atmosphere, indicating their neglect even with such advancements. The dichotomy of high-tech and low-life is created when the two are juxtaposed, thereby upholding the cyberpunk genre. The contrast displays the dystopian nature of the society, showing that while the future of advanced technology is here, not everyone has access to it, and not everyone can benefit from it. This creates an effective social allegory that highlights the implications of asymmetrical development in a capitalist society. Scott highlights the issues of such structure, as many in the upper class benefited from the technological growth, while many in the working class suffered from the impact of the recession. Whannell similarly represents his dystopian futuristic society through the juxtaposition of the various settings within the film. Upgrade's settings are characterized by their overall design and color, which indicates their access to the futuristic technology. This is evident in settings such as Aaron and Fisk's house. Both are minimalist in nature, employing low-key lighting and a display of black base with neon and unnatural colors such as red or green to support it. This highlights the highly developed technology and wealth, indicating their prosperity as a result of the futuristic development. On the other hand, settings such as New Crown and the Old Bones Bar are crowded and display a rustic color palette, including deep browns and mellow practical lighting. This suggests a lack of improvement in the area and the respective quality of life. Similarly to Blade Runner, the dystopian nature of the near-future society is highlighted when these two are juxtaposed. The dichotomy of high-tech and low-life is presented, thereby upholding the genre and forming an allegory regarding the implications and dangers of such technological development in a capitalist society. Many in the upper classes have benefited from such smart technology, while others in the lower classes who are less fortunate have been left behind. The implementation of a protagonist who is an outsider and an anti-hero is the director's use of characterization to create the low-life part of the society and the dichotomy, thus upholding the genre. Quote, they have an anti-authoritarian attitude and are subversive in nature, unquote. Anti-heroes are considered as protagonists who do not possess the characteristics of a traditional hero. They act in somewhat unethical or immoral means in order to achieve their end goal. Rick Deckard in Blade Runner is highly representative of this character type. He is one of the few Blade Runners in the diegetic universe responsible for executing or other retiring any replicants who escaped the off-world slave colonies. Even though he is following orders, he is murdering sentient beings who just wish to live a full life, thereby making him an anti-hero. According to Scott, Deckard is a replicant, making him an outsider and a subversive character in a human society who detests such technology. Both statuses are highlighted through the use of blocking. He is constantly separated from other humans within the frame. He is only close to characters such as Rachel, who is another outsider, because she is a replicant. It shows that he is ignored by and separate from his society because of his status. His anti-hero status is also represented through the use of blocking, which is apparent when he is retiring various replicants. Deckard is either the only one in frame or secluded from the larger clouds, which highlights the morally and ethically questionable nature of his actions. This upholds the conventions of the cyberpunk genre, as Scott highlights the gritty and dangerous part of the high-tech and low-life society. He explores the subversive side within the film, commenting on those rendered as outsiders because of the recession. Grey Trace is also representative of the outsider and anti-hero. He is a mechanic and a technophobe, rendering him a subversive character and an outsider in a world of high technology. Even though his crusade of revenge is done with good intent, he, or rather STEM, is murdering people in violent manners, making him an anti-hero. Warnell makes use of similar techniques as Scott does, as Grey is separated from others within the frame. This is most evident when he is with others who have embraced technology, such as Asha and Aaron. This indicates his status as a technophobe and an outsider in his society, as he rejects the Novum. This is also present during his descent into an anti-hero. The more STEM takes over, the more Grey loses his humanity and is separated from those who support him, such as Pam and Detective Cortez. This allows Warnell to comment on the low-life part of his society, showing the divide between those who accept the new technology and those who reject it, and the implications that that can have. Cyberpunk focuses on displaying the dangers of technology to show the negatives of a high-tech society. This makes up most of the social allegory as it highlights the potential issues presented in the film's cultural context. Blade Runner focuses on the dangers of technology and employs distinct cinematographic elements to portray this. Scott makes use of impersonal and personal shot types to highlight the loss of humanity and morality as a result of such technology. The impersonal cinematography consists of medium, long, and wide shots. It is most evident when Deckard is hunting the replicants. It gives the scenes a distant feel and indicates that they are void of any emotion, suggesting that the presence and perceived threat of the advanced technology brings out the worst in humans. Conversely, the personal cinematography consists of medium close-ups and close-ups. This is seen during character confrontation or conversations with humans and replicants alike. It highlights their emotions and creates an intimate relationship with the audience, suggesting that the replicants are just like their human counterparts, at least in terms of their psychological aspects, and that they deserve those same rights that humans have. This implementation of cinematography enables the representation of the dangers of technology on society, upholding the conventions of the cyberpunk genre. Scott can explore ideas such as the implications of a highly capitalist society on our humanity during times of technological development or recession, both of which were present during the 1980s. Upgrade specifically focuses on the dangers of artificial intelligence when they take full control. This slightly differs from Blade Runner, as Warnell focuses on the technology taking control over humans rather than inciting unethical actions. Warnell employs similar cinematographic techniques seen in Blade Runner to highlight Grey's gradual loss of his humanity because of STEM, thereby commenting on the dangers of technology. The impersonal cinematography consists of medium, long, and wide shots. Grey's emotions and personal features are no longer the focus, suggesting that he is under the control of STEM and not fully human. On the other hand, the personal cinematography consists of medium close-ups and close-ups. It focuses on Grey's emotions, showing his human side. These two are juxtaposed to show Grey's internal conflict as he slowly loses control to STEM and fights to regain it, however he ultimately fails. This is evident in the progression seen in the fight scenes. In the first two, both styles are present, suggesting that while STEM has some influence, Grey is mostly in control, in which his emotional reactions highlight his humanity, initial rejection of the technology, and slight acceptance of it. However, the third fight and the rest of the film are mostly comprised of the impersonal cinematography, indicating that STEM has taken over complete control. The scenes are void of any emotional connection, suggesting that Grey's humanity has been replaced by an artificial general intelligence. This is pertinent to the film's allegory and context, as Warnell is exploring the dangers of a highly advanced AI and smart technology, and people's reaction to it during a time in which it is a very possible reality. Even with the 36-year difference between the two films, the stylistic features are evident in the setting, represented by the color and its design. Blocking and combination of various styles of cinematography are implemented in similar manners with effects that are just as identical. In both films, they display the conventions of the cyberpunk genre, such as the futuristic dystopian society, and a protagonist in the form of an outsider and anti-hero, to facilitate an exploration of the dangers of technology and technophobia. The only notable differences are present in the specific allegory of both films, which can be attributed to their largely dissimilar context of production.